Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this is your weekly WWE Monday Night Raw review. Dude, what was that? Every fucking show, your fucking phone goes off.
I don't know how. It doesn't make logical sense.
Dude, I swear to God, you have like 7 phones and you text yourself so that you go on like, oh shit, go live. Oh shit.
Well, we go by the Stone Cold Podcast rules. So everyone listening, every time my phone goes off, I owe y'all all a beer. So Sammy Synister owes you a beer.
I owed something else. What I just sat through. Jesus Christ, ladies and gentlemen, put in the comments. Did you give this show a loss? Did you give this show a tie? Or did you give the show an extreme loss? I would say win, but I wouldn't want to waste my breath. I give this show the weakest ties that there's ever been given in the history of pro wrestling, sports, in anything, in any genre. It's the weakest of like literally, it's just so borderline. So I give this a tie because I enjoyed the main event segment, and I enjoyed Goldberg Lesnar. And apart from that, this show stunk. And Sammy doesn't have video, so the video is going to be stuck on my mug for a while. So Sammy, welcome to the show. How are you, and what do you rate Raw?
I'm tired. I'm desperately tired. And I know I've said for a while that Raw has been a chore to sit through. I was talking to LK, ladies and gentlemen. I told him, I'm not going to make it. So he told me to essentially nut up and get coffee, which I did. So I'm here thanks because of coffee. But man, honestly, if I could disrespect this show more, I really don't want to give it a win-loss or a tie. I just want to say that there's no real reason to watch it outside of two segments. It was, I guess I'd give it a weak tie because I saw at least some effort in the storytelling, and there were 2 really good segments. But beyond that, it was just meh.
It's the go-home show for the Survivor Series pay-per-view, and what they delivered was, okay, I'm excited for that match, I'm excited for that, everything else means shit. And it's typical WWE go-home Raw. Oh, here we have a rivalry there and a rivalry there. Tag match. Rivalry there. Tag match. Rivalry there. Tag match. All throughout the show. Constantly, consistently, and it's fucking vermin. It's disrespectful to even sports entertainment. It's not. Like, how can you be sat there in the back saying, oh, good job tonight, guys. Great work. That was shit. And there is no, like, in the past, people have been like, oh, you guys are just negative Nellies, or you're just bashers.
I don't want to be. I want to love this show. I want it to be as good as it can.
We sit here and we put it over when it's good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. And this was another example of, like, last week's Raw, I got 20 minutes in and I cut, okay? And I felt clean because I did it. I'm sat here and I feel dirty after watching. Like, you get mesmerized by like a little fly, like flying. Oh, look at that fly! When there's like guys in the ring, and it's not the guys in the ring's fault. It's 3 hours is too long, and their storytelling is just. You said that they gave effort. I don't see that. I thought this was lazy. I seriously thought it was lazy. Minus 2 segments.
Effort. There was an effort, but it was like the most piss poor of efforts. It was the effort there was the same as when you forget to do your homework and you go to school, so you just put your name on it and turn it in. So like, yeah, you fucking tried, kinda. But it's like I get like they made the point like, oh, we're trying to make sure everyone is ready for make sure everyone's ready for Survivor Series. You got to be in your A game. So here's the matches that we're doing to test you. Like, okay, I can almost see it. But that's still it just didn't work, and the matches just didn't deliver. And I can understand they wanted to take it safe tonight because they are going to go directly into Survivor Series. But goddamn, it was so hard to sit there. There were some matches that were just so fucking boring.
And pointless. There was no. It's just they do this all the time. It's boom, tag match. It drives me crazy. But we'll get down to breaking down. Let's get this one over with because I'm fucking natty and raggy and batty. So the participants for Team Raw, the male, the women, and the female, they're on the ramp, and Foley and Stephanie are in the ring because the emphasis is on the authority figures, as every W program since 1998. They motivate their team. Well, they at least try to. Foley dances like Enzo, and he looked like, well, let's say a funny fucking retard. Okay, I don't care who it is. Like, that could be Mick Foley. What a legend, like, respect. But he looked like a fucking retard. Stephanie says tonight she might make some changes. And the thing is, she goes, if there's any, like, discombobulation, sorry, it's very late, in the team, then there's going to be changes. Every match, there was discombobulation. And that they still, no changes. Not one. Mick Foley makes it Cesaro, Sheamus versus Reigns and Kevin Owens. Stephanie makes Rollins, Jericho and Strowman versus New Day. And Mick makes it Sasha and Charlotte versus Fox and Nia Jax. Tag team wrestling for the sake of tag team wrestling because they're too lazy to come up with a story.
I hate that. I hate just putting people in a tag match to get as many people on the show as possible. And I think that's one of the things that's killed legitimate tag team wrestling. I really think it has. That's why I think part of the reason that the Dusty Rhodes Classic is so good, or the Dusty Rhodes Tournament is so good, because it feels like a tag team event and not just, okay, these two guys are together because we said they're together because they have to do a match tonight.
It's just, words can't comprehend how lazy it is. Like, you don't need to sit in a boardroom. You could just go, oh, okay, they're in a feud over there, they're in a feud over there, boom, tag match. And they always, I said this how many times on these shows, so frustrating. So if Reigns and Kevin Owens, so you got the US champ Reigns and Kevin Owens versus Cesaro and Sheamus. So remember the whole conversation we just had about, they're not allowed to bicker, they're not allowed to debate, they're not allowed to argue.
Let's just ignore that.
The first thing they did, they came and they argued. And they argued to the point where Cesaro hit a running corkscrew plancha to the floor. Owens tags himself in, again, not working properly. Reigns gets in his face. Sheamus bro kicks Owens. Reigns spears Sheamus to get the free count, which meant you didn't protect your Universal Champion. You protect your United States Champion, not because of the belt, because it's Roman Reigns every fucking time. Why can Owens look strong? He's the man. He is your world champion, and you had your mid-card champion get the win for the Universal Champion. It should be the other way fucking round, but it's Roman fucking Reigns every single fucking time.
I don't know, dude. I've got nothing for you on this one, man. Honestly, out of the 3 hours and 15 minutes that this Raw was on, there's 25 minutes of it that counts. And I'm struggling to even find things to talk about here. I really am. There's so many issues.
You had your world champion of your brand win by being unconscious.
I hate that. God,
and you had your mid-card champion do the dirty work. It's so shit. It's fucking awful. It's something that I love so much, and they take it and just throw it back in your face. Shit. Off. Okay.
So we're gonna Usa,
dude.
Usa.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not take a week off Raw, because when you watch it the next week after, you forget how bad it is.
You get so upset. And and it's my boy Kevin Owens, my favorite professional wrestler in the entire world. It's gotten to the point that Raw almost depresses me, and I fucking hate that, because so many of my favorite wrestlers in the world are on Raw. So many of them. And
any other promotion got their hands on Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Jericho, like the things they could do, and it's just fuck off. Fuck off and die.
It's not that they're not trying. The guys in the ring are fucking trying. But it's like they're fighting with two hands tied behind their backs. But whatever. Like, let's fucking just... This match was shit. Let's go on.
Then we had Jericho talking to Rollins and Strowman. Basically, Jericho gives them scarves. Strowman wants his scarf, the one that he's wearing, and he takes it and he rips it. I thought that was kind of funny. I'll give him that. That was funny. And then we went to Bo Dallas versus Sami Zayn, because we're just too lazy to come up with something for Sami Zayn. And I like, why couldn't they have had Ziggler cut a promo on the Tron? Why couldn't they have done anything? Lazy, so lazy. This match in NXT would have been a main event of a takeover. On Raw, it's called the Channel Changer. It's like
it's the piss taker.
It's like, oh, Bo Dallas, like you're using the Force. Like, come on, controller.
Here's my theory. So, like, okay, first thoughts. They could have done this with local talent. And then, not that you need to protect Bo Dallas, but I always believe in protecting your in-house talent. So you should have just done this with local talent. Here is my theory. Let me know what you think. So the IC Championship and the Cruiserweight Championship are both up for grabs. My theory is this. I think Sami Zayn is going to win the IC Championship, and I think that Kalisto might win the CW Championship. The two brands meet briefly again, and because they said, well, no, they already said that like they're going to move the Cruiserweights over to SmackDown. I think they might. I'm hoping at this point in time they trade Sami Zayn to go to SmackDown to have another great babyface over there. Imagine a Bray Wyatt Sami Zayn program.
That's a good point. And maybe you could trade Miz over because Miz really wants to go, doesn't he?
Exactly.
So you say, like,
yeah, we'll give you the champion. And you know what? You can have the Miz because we don't want him on our hands anymore.
What I think, and we'll be doing a Survivor Series preview show later on in the week, but this is what I think is going to happen. I think the Cruiserweight, Kalisto's going to win the Cruiserweight belt. That's going to get a SmackDown. The Sami Zayn will win the IC. Sami Zayn will come over to Raw. And then at the Roadblock event, they're going to do the US champion Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, where they're going to basically defunct the US championship, like they did at No Mercy 2002, where Kane and Triple H. Kane was your IC champ, Triple H was your world champion. It was a unification match, but it wasn't a unification match because the IC title was just made defunct until Judgment Day 03, where they brought it back in a Royal Rumble when Steve Austin came back. Who says that's at 4:30 a.m. and that's fucking memory. Fuck me sideways, what a joke. So what I think they're going to do is they're going to do Reigns versus Owens at the Roadblock, and then they're going to have Owens as your Universal Champion, and then IC title as your mid-card, and then SmackDown can have the Cruiserweights because they have the 205 live show after SmackDown. It just makes logical sense, because why do you want these guys traveling to Raw, then SmackDown, and then they could do SmackDown house shows? I think it'll be better to get the Cruiserweights over there.
I said a long, long time ago when they were first talking about the brand split, I said they needed the Cruiserweights on one show and the women on another show. And I still stand by that, but I think moving the Cruiserweights to SmackDown, I think they'd do better on SmackDown.
What I don't hope they do is make two Cruiserweight divisions.
There's not enough talent. There's not enough fucking talent.
Oh, they could easily get some more. So Sami Zayn did get the win. He got the win with the haluva kick. I don't really give a fuck. After the match,
there's not even fucking a reason to talk about the match, because literally there was a haluva kick in the story.
It's sad, because if that was an NXT, that would have been a main event of TakeOver. I'm not lying. That would have been the main event of TakeOver. And guys, if you've just come into the live chat and you watched the State of the Universe on the WWE Network, can you please pop in the comments if it feels any good? Because once this show's finished and it's all sorted out, I'm about to go lie in bed and try and get some sleep, or take some decaf or something. I always pop the network on, so please tell me if the show's worth watching or not. If not, I'll watch something else. But he cuts a promo about, how he doesn't care who wins between Ziggler and Miz at SmackDown Live 900. He'll bring the IC title to Raw. Who gives a fuck? Speaking of not giving a fuck, we have New Day versus Jericho, Rollins, and Strowman. This match was actually a decent wrestling match with a limited story that just happened for a reason. There was no reason for this happening at all. There was none whatsoever. The only things I take from this was Strowman looked amazing, and Kofi Kingston's selling is underrated.
Oh, yeah, Kofi Kingston, I think, has always been just underrated in general. But they're really building up. It pisses me off because they'll start building up Strowman to be a monster and building him up like, oh my God, he's a beast. And then they'll do something to completely fuck it up and make him look vulnerable. Yeah,
like in the main event, I thought he looked vulnerable. I thought the way it was going to be planned out was that Strowman would be the last man standing. But they didn't. It had to be Reigns, didn't it?
It had to be fucking, well, whatever. We'll get there. We're going to get there. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
And then speaking of anywhere else, we were in the office because we're too lazy to think of anywhere else with Foley and Steph. Paul Heyman interrupts, and I didn't finish this because Stephanie McMahon, the lead head of the campaign for Be a Star, calls Heyman fat and laughs. And the thing is, I wouldn't mind if the Be a Star wasn't on WWE programming, but they always brag on Raw about the Be a Star program, and Stephanie's always on it. Yet she just bullied this man who just walked into the office. He does nothing wrong. He doesn't physically assault anyone. He just got called fat on international television. And now that same woman who just called him fat is going to go tell kids, oh, don't bully, be a star. Double standards, fuck off. And the thing is, it made me so mad I didn't actually finish listening to it until Foley was back on the phone phoning up for extra security, which I did like. because it promoted the Goldberg Lesnar segment, which was brilliant. Then we have Charlotte and Sasha Banks bickering like teenage whores. We're just going through this so fast, like there's nothing to talk about.
There's nothing. That's what I'm. It's one of the. I guess it's a blessing and a curse right now because I'm so tired that I want to go to bed. But I would love to talk about more intricacy like we do with a Lucha. We talk about more on Lucha Elite, which is in a language neither one of us speak, than we are on a 3-hour show in our native language. They just let that sink in. And I'm not trying to bury Raw. I want it to be good. I am going to promote Lucha Elite because it's fucking amazing. I love Lucha, and if you don't watch it, then you suck. So you should totally go support your local luchadors. And by local, I mean on Lucha Elite. But it's just, I don't know. Like, literally, they talked. They fucking bickered at one another. End of segment.
Wasted time. Wasted my time. And then we had, speaking of wasted time, we had Brian Kendrick versus Sin Cara. Non-title because it's Raw and it doesn't matter. I guess you could take logic that it's Kalisto's tag partner, so who else would they use?
Did kind of like the segment of like the State of the Union address that Kendrick gave to the other cruiserweights. I didn't mind that because, again, it made the cruiserweights seem like they're separate, which despite what a lot of other people think, I think they should be. It made it seem like they're their own little pocket, and it made it seem like he was a heel because he's trying to control them, and they're all going, no. So there's a good chance I think that belt ends up on SmackDown. But you never know. I did enjoy that segment.
Yeah, who didn't enjoy it? The live audience. They were chanting boring during the match. And don't chant it during... Like, why can't you chant that at Reigns? Not there. And so you have Kendrick getting the one with the captain's hook, Sin Cara taps. It's not bad. It's just... At least the champion looks strong heading into the pay-per-view. So we'll give him that. We're not giving them much here, but we will give them that. A star and a half, really nothing special. Please don't watch it. Then we have Enzo and Cass and Anderson and Gallows. They're bickering. It's all about bickering, this show.
You could almost replace, besides the main event and the Goldberg Lesnar match, you could literally replace everyone's dialogue with
literally, and it's sad. Enzo, I know I hate the guy. I don't hate the guy. I talk about my hatred for the man a lot. Well, not the man, the wrestler. But he is a good promo and a good entertainer. And I liked his line when he said, if Anderson and Gallows turn on him, then he will shove a knife up his asshole. I thought that was entertaining. So we go to the ring now. So this is about 1 hour and 57 minutes into the show already. And this was the first time I'm actually questioning, enjoying myself. Like, I'm actually going to enjoy the segment. So extra security is fully announced. Lesnar and Heyman come out. Lesnar, I don't know if it's you who didn't like Lesnar. Was it you who didn't like Lesnar?
I can't stand Lesnar.
Okay, cool. I get the right one. With Lesnar, I love how the WWE promotes him. I love how the WWE presents him. And I love how every time he comes out, it just has that big time, moment. Like, we bash Cole on a regular basis. But I love it when he talks about, this is a Raw moment. And this was. Like, Goldberg coming back was a moment. This was a moment. Like, when I watch Raw, I want to be sports entertained. And there really is a difference between pro wrestling and sports entertainment. There really is. This is what I want in my Raw. I want to see build. I want to be on the edge of my seat saying, what's going to happen next? And I want to be fucking excited. Take my $9.99 and fucking run with it. So Lesnar comes out, Goldberg comes out. It's still surreal. It's still marking out like a 10-year-old. Absolutely brilliant.
I love that he still had his old music. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You would know this better than I, because this is when I had to stop watching for a little bit. When Brock Lesnar came to the WWE, was that his theme music? Was he using his old WCW theme music?
Sorry? Oh, no. The theme you're listening to is not the WCW theme. It's the edited WWE version, because he came back in 2003 at Backlash, and they edited that version. They edited the WCW version. And what you don't know is, on the Nitros we're watching for the Monday Night War series on this channel, they edited that version as well, so you don't even realize. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's why they don't upload everything, because there's got to be like a team of people going through and editing the theme songs. And dude, I would hate to have that job. Actually, getting paid to watch wrestling, actually, I fucking love that job. So Heyman keeps trying to talk, but he gets cut off by Goldberg. Heyman gets heat, At last. We've been trying. How long have they been trying for Heyman and Lesnar to get heat? How many fucking weeks?
So fucking long. And the last time they tried to get heat, whoever thought that was a good idea was a fucking idiot, because you're doing it in Lesnar's home fucking town without your babyface being there. It was such stupid. But here was great. And nobody on the history of the planet, nobody in maybe the history of professional wrestling, not a soul can promote a match like Paul Heyman.
It's like him and Don West promoting something just makes me come down my pants. So Goldberg cut a really good promo about, how it pisses off, how it basically pisses Brock off that Brock hasn't beaten Goldberg yet. And I really liked his promo. And he says, next time my family's mentioned, I'll rip off your head and feed it to Brock Lesnar. I like that. Brock Lesnar screams to the fans to shut up. And this was a big moment for me. Now we have talked for weeks now. The match at Survivor Series will be good if Lesnar's motivated. This showed me that he cares enough to the point where he wants mega heat to get Goldberg more over, for the match to be more magical with the crowd.
I'm glad you feel that way, because I dislike Lesnar because you're supposed to dislike him. He's a heel, but I dislike Lesnar because I hate what he represents. I hate that he represents that you can get paid 8 times the money of your cruiserweights that are killing themselves, work half the 1/8 of the amount, and put on really shitty, boring matches, and just not try. And you don't have to try because you'll have a match the next day or the next fucking 6 months whenever you decide to wrestle again. So I hope, but just somewhere in my soul, I know this is going to be and I quote, suplex, F5, maybe a spear, maybe a jackhammer, suplex, F5 over.
Sad but true. Heyman brings up the kids again. Goldberg takes his shirt off. Decent shape. I was surprised at how good his shape.
It'd be like 53 to 55, somewhere in there.
No, I think he's
still got 50.
it. I think he's Kane's age, around about Kane's age.
He's in his 50s at the very least. I know that for a fact. I just don't remember the exact age.
Heyman says Goldberg will be... Oh, God. There we go. Goldberg will be unrecognizable to his son, and he will be calling Brock Lesnar daddy. Goldberg then takes out security. Goldberg's in the ring. Lesnar's on the apron. It's thunderous. It's amazing. Lesnar, the Healy bastard, gets off the apron, walks up the ramp, makes you scream at your laptop, TV, mobile, whatever you're watching it on, that you want to see them wrestle. You want to pay your $9.99.
Kudos to the announce team on this, because one thing Cole said that I really liked, he's like, I can't believe it, Lesnar's biking down from a fight. And I was like, ooh, that's smart.
Making you want to, and they've always done this with Brock matches. Well, for the majority of the time, before he turned babyface, they did this, and I thought that it usually was good, and it did its job. Made me want to watch Survivor Series for the first time in 1 hour and fucking 57 minutes. And then we have Charlotte and Sasha versus Alicia Fox and Nia Jax. So Nia Jax's theme goes, "I'm not like most girls," okay, and I know that. Sadly, it did not prevent me from going upstairs into my lavatory and unloading a gigantic shit.
You missed literal nothing. I was actually I was making a pot of coffee during this. This is when I got up to make some coffee, so I missed most of this as well.
Someone won. And then we had Enzo and Cass in the club versus Shining Stars and Golden Truth. The club won. That's it. I want to say in every tag match that they're in, the club won. Honestly, as much as I like those two, they need to stop doing promos, and they just need to start going out there and hurting people. That's what I want to see. When they first showed up and they just start fucking obliterated people, that's what I want to see. I agree. Then we had Stephanie and Mick there in the ring. Shane interrupts. The entrance was Shane McMahon's entrance was the second time of the night I shed a smile, because Shane's entrance just warms my heart during these cold and dark times of Monday Night Raw.
And they made it a good idea. They did a really good job of making it feel special. It's like, okay, these are two separate brands. We are at war, even though they haven't done the best build to this. They're fighting each other. This is Raw versus SmackDown. So it was cool to see somebody else on the other team. You know what I mean?
Brian's there as well. Shane promotes SmackDown 900, which is tomorrow, which I'm excited for. Are you going to be able to join me for tomorrow's SmackDown Live?
I will not be there. Also, bad news I found out today. Since I started my new job today, it was my first day in this position. I found out I get to work at another store on Sunday.
Oh, so you missed Survivor Series.
Yep, and it would be okay, like because we close. Usually, we close, and the event starts. But since they're starting an hour early, I'm gonna miss it. I was pretty irked. I told my boss, like, you owe me one on this one.
Is there any? Are there any days you can do this week?
Wednesday. I can do Wednesday night for sure.
What about Lucha Day?
Well, of course I'll be there for Lucha.
So
I'll
Wednesday,
watch all the
What about Saturday? Because I can't. Saturday's my day off, and I've actually got plans, and I can't do Takeover. I have a big. This is extremely sad. So I actually have a list of scheduling of things that I actually do. You wouldn't think I'm a 19-year-old man. So Saturday I can't do Takeover because I'm at a friend's. It's my friend's 19th birthday, so 20th birthday actually. Is making his birthday wrong, so we're going to get slaughtered.
Even if I close Saturday, I will do a Takeover event. It just may be late. It might be late in the night.
Dude, late is better than not at all. So if you take care of Takeover, I'll take care of Survivor Series, and I'll ask Granton if he can pop on with me or Booms or someone on that. Okay. But at least I've got you Wednesday and Thursday.
Yep.
Okay, I can relax now. I can relax. I got you released Wednesday and Thursday. So back to our fucking Raw show. So Shane promotes fucking Edge and The Undertaker. Stephanie brings up Team Raw. Stephanie leaves. Brian leaves. I bet he's there like, Vince, please let me fight. So it's 5-on-2, then the SmackDown Live, they come out through the crowd. I like that because what I didn't like was Shane and Brian coming through the entranceway. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. They shouldn't. Even though I got to see Shane's flip-flip gimmick, and that's what I called it, flip-flip gimmick. I've always called it that. So Owens cuts a promo on AJ, saying the World Championship means nothing. That's pretty much, kind of funny if you think about it. Jericho's getting bigger pops every week. He puts AJ Styles on the list. Jericho puts Ellsworth on the list for looking freaky. Bray cuts a promo on Strowman saying he abandoned.
I liked that. I didn't even think about that story going into this. And again, kudos to Bray Wyatt because he's fucking great on the mic, but I didn't even think about that. It's like, oh man, they can have a really good program coming out of that.
And then Orton and Strowman lock dies, and that got a really good reaction, which I didn't expect to get that big of a reaction. Maybe that's something. Maybe they could do that somewhere down the line. Maybe at Mania.
That would be cool.
Then Ambrose just punches Jericho because they actually lived up to his character, which is a lunatic, which I liked. There was a big brawl, there was spots, there was finishers, and then Reigns is the one who stands tall after he powerbombs AJ over the top onto the whole team SmackDown. It's just it's fundamental basic Raw watching. Reigns looks better than Owens in his match, booking wise, and he gets booked perfectly in the main event. When you have a monster heel like Strowman, who could have really used that shine, he could have used that.
There was a point in time where he was in the middle of the ring with everybody from Team SmackDown sitting around him. That's where the show should have ended. Because what you could have done, you could have ended it there, and Raw looked strong because their monster just annihilated everybody. SmackDown tomorrow night, have Raw show up and invade them unannounced. That's when your SmackDown team looks strong.
It's got to be done, and they probably will. I'm actually excited for SmackDown tomorrow because you got Taker, you got Edge, and they're talking a lot about online anyway about The Undertaker having his Mania opponent announced tomorrow night, and if so, I want it to be, if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton or Big Match John. I want one of those two. I do.
I doubt that it's going to be either one of those, honestly.
Why? What else does that mean? Baylor could be an option.
Yeah, but Balor's still out injured. I don't know. I just don't think they'll announce it tomorrow, truth be told.
I don't give a shit either way.
I'm excited to see Taker.
Yeah, me too. Got any live comments?
Let's take a peek. Not really in the way of questions or anything. Of course, Andy Paps is here, so Andy Paps, baby. How you doing, brother? Sadie J says, "Are you all right, LK?" That must have been during your little spat, if you will.
Could you repeat?
No, that's really it. Not a whole lot beyond that.
Who said no sound? Who said no sound?
I love 63.
There is sound. Don't worry, there is sound. I just checked because someone in the comments put no sound. That was quite a good, funny rib. That was funny. He did a rib. Andy Pap says creative needs to go, and creative is the problem. From that, I love 63. That is that is literally it.
It is. It's
kills.
Not a lack of talent.
And the thing is, like, I remember the other day we were talking about this. We were thinking of doing the Monday Night War show instead of Raw, watching Raw. We were going to watch Nitro and Raw and then review that. But we know that people want the Raw review. If it wasn't for Raw doing good numbers for us, we wouldn't do it.
Yeah, because we do this for you guys just as much as we do it for ourselves. I fucking love wrestling, and I love talking about wrestling. But at this point in time, and I think I can speak for me and LK on this one as well, I do feel an obligation to bring things specifically for all of you. And this is something, I don't want to seem like it's making us into martyrs, because I'm going to watch Raw regardless. But we really do this for you guys as well.
I wouldn't watch Raw. I literally I'll put it out. I would not watch Raw if it wasn't for this show. There is no way I would suffer through that garbage every week. Like last week, I just had it up to there. I was like, you know what? Fuck this last week. If you weren't online, I probably would have had to carry on going, but I couldn't. I could literally put my hand on my heart and say if it wasn't for this YouTube channel, there is no way I'd watch Raw every week. I'd watch it like once a month, maybe on the Go Home show for the pay-per-view to get me excited. I would watch either the YouTube clips or This Week in WWE, which covers Raw. It covers Raw. It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs, but Raw's done. So we got SmackDown. We've got a little schedule gimmick over here. So on Tuesday, it's SmackDown Live review. And then Wednesday, we have your NXT review plus an NXT TakeOver preview. Thursday is Lucha Day, baby. So you have your weekly Lucha Underground review as well as a review of Lucha Elite. And Lucha Elite, you can watch 110% completely free if you just type in Lucha Elite, and it's called Lucha Azteca. Also a Survivor Series preview on Thursday. Friday is TNA and Ring of Honor. Saturday, Sammy will be taking care of NXT TakeOver. Sunday, I'll be taking care of Survivor Series, and I'll get myself a guest, and it all starts again on Raw. And then next week, I'm also going to cover the PWX tournament. There's a 60-man tournament, which is available on Flow. So I'm going to apologize, there's no Evolve reviews. However, the weekend, I was so burnt out that I thought to myself, just going to take 2 days off. I'm just going to relax and enjoy myself, and I'm happy I did. But that's probably why I hated Raw even more, because that was the first pro wrestling I watched. But I did watch the main event of Evolve 72. Thatcher and Gulak was fucking unbelievable.
Is Gulak the Evolve champion?
No, Thatcher is. They had a match here where it started with no ropes, and it ended with the whole canvas taken off, and they exposed the metal below the boards.
Damn.
They were doing German suplexes. Oh, dude, it was absolutely unbelievable. So I recommend everyone to check out Flow Slam. The subscription service is really good, and I'm looking forward to this weekend. Looking forward to the rest of the week now. Raw's done that well. And thank you, Sammy, for joining, and thank you all live listeners for joining us tonight. I'm sorry Raw was bad, but don't send hate my way. Send it to Vince, because Vince is an old cunt. That being said, Vince, I hope you get scared by a clown tonight. I really I hope you get haunted. Like
we're about the only people that are still on that gimmick, but by God, I'm not going to let it die.
Dude, it won't. Like, it won't. It will not.
Like 4 years from now, we're still doing this, and at the end of every show, we're like, fuck the clowns. And then there's somebody that's like, why do they do that?
Unbelievable. Well, that's going to wrap it up for tonight's show. Thank you all for watching. It means a lot. We appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the week's wrestling content. I hope you enjoyed this show. We try to make it a bit fun. Sorry about my rant earlier on in the show, but Raw does get me down and boggled. So, Sammy, thank you for joining me. Internet Infantry, thank you for being there. Hit that subscribe button. We're on our road to 7,000. That's my short-term goal. We're at 69982. So let's make it to 7,000 by Survivor Series. Let's make that our goal. Thank you, Internet Infantry, for joining us. Make sure you stay safe. Look after yourself, because it's a fucked up world out there. Don't let any of this shit get you down. Raw's done. Let it go. Stay safe, stay well. We'll be catching your asses down the line.